here at Jewler John's, the project is eventually we're in step 1 of making copies of this Roman coin. This is from about 103, 111, 105 BC. No, BC, AD. It is a coin of Trajan's. And the reason I think it's interesting, other than the fact that the history of Trajan is interesting, is that it has Fortuna, the goddess Fortuna, often depicted on coins when emperors or the people who had the coins issued were returning from victory or were just returning back to Rome or home in general. And she has in her hand an oar, a steering oar, because back then ships didn't have rudders built into the ship. They had a steering oar on the starboard in English, the steering board, the steering side of the ship, which happened to be the right side.
I'm getting all the materials together to make a rubber mold. This is going to be the base of the sprue that we're going to put inside the rubber mold.
And what is the sprue?
The sprue would be the gateway for the metal in the eventual piece to enter the mold. I have to find a piece of wire that's the same diameter as the hole in that base. And it just so happens that I have this that is the same size, so I'm just going to cut it real quick and use it. I will attach the coin to the end of this, which will be the sprue, and then this is like the base, the sprue former. So it's going to go like that inside the mold, and then the coin will sit on it very much like...
Want to see the original coin?
Yeah.
Here's the original coin.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to just set it up in the mold like this, and we're going to surround it with silicone, a special kind of silicone putty that you put in a machine called a vulcanizer, and it will heat it up at a certain temperature and under pressure, and it will cure that silicone until it's very much like a rubber tire. Then we cut it open in half, we remove the coin, and then what we have left is a hollow space that we get to fill with wax. And then that forms the model that we put in the next step, which would be to make a mold out of plaster, a special kind called investment. And that is a high temperature plaster, which will burn out in a kiln overnight at 1,350 degrees. And there will be nothing left but a hollow space, kind of like those people in Pompeii. And then we will fill that void with whatever the given metal is that we're trying to cast. Yep, just cut yourself a square without trying to waste too much of it.
Wow, your blade is in good shape.
Yes. And what we're going to do is sandwich the coin in the middle of these pieces, and it'll all make sense in a second.
Where is it?
Alright, so we just put this in here like this, pretty much, and you want to try your best to get it halfway in. You know, you don't want it to be too much on one side of the mold or the other. Now the coin will sit in there like that. There we go. It's almost like American cheese. It really does almost feel like American cheese.
Except it's from Italy.
Yes, except it's from Italy.
Like this coin!
Oh!
Coincidence? I think not.
I think not. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Alright, Castaldo, don't do us wrong. So we have made the sandwich with the silicone material. The coin is buried in the middle of this, and it's in a frame that is designed to basically make the mold a uniform shape. We're going to sandwich it in between this aluminum sheets, just simply because I don't want it to stick to the vulcanizer. These are 2 hot plates, very hot, and I'm going to put this in here.
Vulcan, Roman god.
Yes. All right. The Victorians were funny how they named shit. And so here we go. We are going to vulcanize this material, which will cure it and make it very, very durable from that putty-like state into very much like rubber, like a rubber tire. So we put it in first, not fully cranked down, just enough to get it warm. It's going to ooze out a little bit, and about a minute or 2 later, we'll crank it again, and we will then compress it the rest of the way, and then time it. We're going to leave it in for about, let's say, 35 minutes, and starting about now, whatever time it is now. You absolutely need it, because they didn't set it up that way. You can't get a good crank on it, and it's very important to, and then like this. Okay, and then go ahead and we're gonna quench it here. Maybe more. Oh, hot damn, it's still warm. Okay, there we go, there's that. And then now that we've got it, we can just leave it sit and cool for a moment. Rather than just cut, I'm going to cut keys into this piece so I don't have just two separate slices that then don't fit together. I'm going to cut like a kind of a key system so that when you put the two slices together, they will line up and you will get a wax model that lines up with itself. It doesn't have like a mold mark on it. So first I'm going to just cut it like this. I cut a little bit into it. And I'm going to cut on this particular piece, and you got to be careful. I'm going to cut a zigzag. And there's a ton of different techniques that you can do. This is just one. And you got a simple thing like a coin. You don't really have to be too complicated with it. And we've got that. Now you can see it's got this wonderful form with a hole, a funnel basically leading directly into the mold. And then we're going to use this wonderful device to kind of clamp the two sides of the mold. And then we can slowly pull it apart as I'm cutting it. As you can see now, it's starting to hold it open. And now what I'll do is I'll cut it. I'm going to do another key on the inside here. So it's kind of do a like this. Go. Same thing over here. As you stretch it, it'll get thin, so you gotta tighten it again. All right. And then, ooh, be careful, buddy. I'll go like this. Because I cut that zigzag, so now I'm just gonna let the zigzag lead, and I'm gonna try to cut straight inside here. And then when the finished mold is done, we'll kind of have this zigzag pattern that will lock in. And then I'm trying to follow dead center where the coin is, so I don't want to catch it off edge. I'd rather get it on the center, and then we can pull it out. And as you can see,
the color is a little different.
Maybe it turned a little green, perhaps, a little slightly
Yes.
green, but it's not black.
No.
It's not black. And what we can do is probably put it in the ultrasonic, and it might probably wash off any of that. I don't know what it is, sulfides or some shit.
Do we have to remove the rest of this?
Yes.
Let's cut it open all the way?
Yep.
How come?
Because we won't be able to get the wax out without damaging it.
Okay.
There they are, wonderful. I find though sometimes the lubricant actually helps seal it, because sometimes your mold will leak, and a leaky mold sucks because it's hot wax and it'll spill out on you and you don't catch it right away, and then it's on you and it's hot like oil and stays hot for moments, you know. So first it burns you and then it keeps burning you, you know. That's horrible. So sometimes the lubricant just actually is a sealer, I find, but we're gonna try it like this. Get it out a little bit. Okay, there we go. Everything's good. You want to make sure, you know, sometimes you can close it and it'll be like that. You don't want that, you know. So you want to try to make sure that it's evenly closed. First time you've injected wax. Well, let me get in here. Okay, there we go.
Okay, I got to squeeze. I got it squozen.
Yep, and then push down slow and steady. And there you go. You've probably pushed too hard, but it's full already. It's full already. What we're going to do is we're going to slowly peel it. There we go. We've got our coin. You can see
Holy mother pencils.
pretty detailed. And then we'll go like this, and we'll pull the rest of it off. And it's just going to peel off where the extra wax is. You know, that's just the way it's going to be. It'll peel off easily. This one is got a lot less of that. I don't know what you call that, splay. You kind of go like this before you try to even pull it out.
Right.
So
Okay.
now we want to decipher how much metal we're going to need. And there's a formula. So that weighs 0.35 grams. And we're going to multiply that by the specific gravity of what metal we want to use. What metal do we want to use?
I want to use argentum.
Okay. Pure?
Pure argentum.
Okay. That's going to be, we're going to multiply it by 10.6. And what that means is that this is the ratio between a similar volume of water, 1 cubic centimeter would weigh 1 gram. This silver, pure silver, 1 cubic centimeter weighs 10.6 grams, so it's 10.6 times heavier than water. And it's a simple formula, and that's how we can figure out how much metal we need to put in our mold.